Lesson 7 is all about lines, segments, and rays, and linear measure. Now, when we look at this lesson, how long is the line segment below? This is one of the critical skills that we need to learn, is how to use a ruler very effectively. Now, if we want to use this ruler, what we want to do is we want to take the 0 and we want to line it up as close to the end of our line segment as possible. Now, you can see that when I move this with the computer, it moves back and forth. So we're going to move it right here, and that's as close as we can get it to 0. Now we read across. It's more than 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, more than 5 inches, and it's between 5 and 6, closer to 5 than it is to 6. Now, what we can see is that there are all these tick marks in here, and you have to know this. You've got to know that in this area there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 tick marks to get us from the 5 to the 6. So if we look at that, we can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks for the length of our line segment. So our answer must be 5 and 4/16 inches. And we'd have our answer. Now 5 and 4/16 inches. If you look at that, you can also see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the bigger lines. 4/16 is the same as 1/4. So if you've reduced before, you could say the answer is 5 and 1/4 inches. Either one of these answers right now is correct. 5 and 4/16 or 5 and 1/4. Whichever way you prefer to write your answer is correct. Let's move on to the next problem. Let's say we have this line segment and we want to know how long it is. This one we're going to use centimeters instead. Now if you'd like to come in to ASH and use the active board and work with these tools, you're welcome to. Okay, you can use it right on the active board. You don't even have to sit at a computer. So we want to line up the left side of our line segment with the 0, and we can see that, ooh, if you look at that, it's really close to 5. Okay, we can say it's really close to 5, and when we look at that, we're going to have to do our best to make the best impression, or the best estimate that we can. So right up on top of 0, very close to the 5. Okay, you've got a couple possible choices for what your answer would be here. You could say this is about 5 centimeters, and I'd give you full credit for that because you're right, it's about 5 centimeters. Okay, if you said it were about 4.9 centimeters, that would also be correct. You get full credit for that answer as long as you wrote about. Now, we have to write about here because we can see that it's not exactly 5, but we don't have any tick marks between the 4 and the 5. So we can't be 100% sure if it's 5, 4.9, 4.8, and if you wrote about 4.8, I'd also give you full credit because it looks like it's close to that. Those would be our 3 acceptable answers for this problem. Okay? And sometimes you don't have 100% certainty of exactly how long it is. Now, in this lesson we're looking at one more topic as well. We're going to close out the ruler. We're looking at lines, rays, and we're looking at, finally, segments. Now when we look at those different things, lines, rays, and segments, all we need is a picture for each. Okay? A line is something that continues on and on and on and on, and the way we represent that is with a segment that has arrowheads. Okay? So here's a line. It just keeps on going and going. And the most common line that we'll use in this class is a number line, where we have 0 in the middle, then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have negative numbers on the left-hand side of that. A ray has one endpoint, and then it goes off in one direction or the other. The most common use of rays that we'll have is when we're working with angles, and we'll have 2 rays that join together. Our second ray would look like this if we had a second one here. Our second ray we'd have an angle right here, and we can measure that with a protractor. A segment, well, we just saw a segment. It has a start and it has an end. And we'll show that start and the end with dots. It doesn't matter if it goes from left to right or right to left because it's starting and finishing either way. Now our lesson practice will be on page 32 and 33. Please make sure you've got all your notes completed. Come prepared for class, and I will see you soon.